and welcome back. My name is Wade, and my wife Tracy is inside the camper getting set up. We just pulled into Kissimmee Prairie Preserve State Park near Okeechobee, Florida. That is in the central part of the state, just north of Lake Okeechobee. This park is very remote, so just come prepared. It is 20 miles to the nearest gas station, and I'm told it is a 2-hour round trip to the nearest grocery store. They do sell ice and firewood at the ranger station, but other than that, they don't have any supplies here for campers. There are 5 different campsite options. You can camp in the family campground. There are 20 sites there that offer 30 amp electrical service as well as water. There are 15 equestrian campsites that have 30 and 50 amp electrical service as well as water. They are also located adjacent to a large horse paddock where if you want to bring your horses with you, you have a place to keep them. There are 5 glamping tents that are air conditioned. There are primitive campsites that you have to hike to. I understand it's about a 2-mile hike to where those campsites are located. And then finally, there are 5 sites out on the prairie on what they call their Astropad. So this park, being a certified dark sky park, is known for its stargazing. And those sites out there are away from any kind of trees. They also prohibit any kind of artificial light. So you cannot have exterior lights on your RV. You cannot even have a campfire at night. And you have to use red flashlights to get around just so that you don't disturb anybody's night vision. So the reason I do these videos is when you look on the state campground reservation site, you can see photographs, but it is really hard to tell what the rest of the campground looks like and what might be adjacent to that particular site you're contemplating reserving. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to go along for the ride. We're going to hop in the truck and we're going to drive through the campground. And I'll tell you what, stick around till the end. I'm going to have plenty of photographs of the night sky and also some of the wildlife that we hope to see. So let's go. What you're looking at here is the approach road to the campground. This is a hard-packed shell road. It was in pretty good shape, and it's about 4.3 miles from the hardtop to the campground. Checking into the campground, you're going to want to stop at the ranger station. Inside, you'll also find a little mini museum that shows some of the wildlife that you can expect to see here in the park. All right, let's hop back in the truck and take a drive through the family campground loop. What you're going to see initially are the campsites that are on the inside of the loop, beginning with Site 2. If you have a really big rig, you might want to consider Site 18. It's the only pull-through site that we saw, and it is huge. I'm sure it would fit a 50-foot rig and a big truck. I didn't realize it till I started putting the video together, but both loops actually had some unmarked sites that had water and electric. Just past the camp host here, you'll see a motorhome that is in what they told me is a volunteer site. So if you're there and you want to spend some time helping out, they're happy to provide you with some free camping. All right, we're going to pass through the family campground one more time. This time the camera's on the right side of the truck. We just passed the bathhouse, and we will begin with Site 1 right there. Most of these sites were very deep and I think would accommodate fairly large RVs. The sites are a little more spread out on the outside of the loop, and there is little vegetation in between, so there's not much in the way of privacy. There's another volunteer site there. There is a single dump station that serves the entire park, so whether you're at the Astropad, the family campground, or the equestrian sites, you would use this facility here. All right, now we're turning into the equestrian campground. There are 15 sites. However, 2 of them are taken up by glamping tents. And as you'll see, the separation between the sites was pretty large. There was still not a lot of vegetation, so there wasn't a tremendous amount of privacy, but at least you had some room to spread out. The bathhouse we're passing here was actually private. There were 4 stalls, so 2 on the front and 2 in the back that you could enter and lock and have some privacy, and they had a shower, sink, and obviously a commode. Getting ready to pass the 2 glamping tents that are on the equestrian loop. They do not have any bath facilities inside, but they are adjacent to the bathhouse. All right, everybody wave at Tracy as we pass Site 28. That's our camper there. We really got lucky. That was a nice shady spot, a lot of beautiful oak trees. You just saw somebody's Starlink antenna out by the street. Some of these sites do have a pretty heavy tree canopy, so if you use Starlink, you may need to move it out to the road. One important note about these equestrian sites is that you do not have to bring a horse to rent one of these spots. In fact, there were no equestrians in the campground when we were there and no horses in the paddock. All right, we're just about to the end of the equestrian loop with Site 35. However, there were 2 spots right there that were for volunteers. As we continue around the equestrian loop and head toward the exit, you'll see 3 more glamping tents overlooking the prairie. I'm told they're all laid out a little differently inside, but I did poke my head into one here that was being cleaned. This was occupied by a nice young family. They had a bunch of kids, so 2 bunk beds and a king-size bed. And then finally, as we complete the equestrian loop, you'll see some horse paddocks on the left. Next, we're going to head back over towards the ranger station, and immediately across the street you'll see the 5 Astropad sites for the serious astronomers. If you like hiking, wildlife, sunsets, and stargazing, you are in for a real treat. I hope you enjoyed this tour, and if you would please subscribe to our channel. We've got plenty more travels coming up in the near future.